Hey everyone, I've got a really cool idea for a Wings of Fire game. Currently, in the industry, we have a very small selection of Wings of Fire based games. These text-based role-playing games are the most prominent in the community, and that's really great. In fact, I've used some of their models and work in my videos, sometimes as B-roll or the character icons themselves. The work these studios do is really impressive considering how scarce development members are for the series. However, I'm a person of variety. As much as these text-based RPGs are fun, I personally don't feel like I'm accomplishing something. It's arguable whether it's a gameplay or personal preference thing, but it's an apparent issue nonetheless. In my opinion, having an open-world role-playing action game would be so much fun. Now, I said a lot of genres, so let's break it down. Open world refers to the game being a large playable space. This means that everything is generally accessible to the player, allowing them to experience the game in any order they wish to complete it in. Instead of having a linear storyline or one crafted by the players, the game can include incremental quests that players can complete. These quests can also branch out into side quests or optional objectives, adding variety into gameplay. A similar game to compare would be The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Skyrim allows players to travel anywhere and tackle quests in any order. You can slay bandits or complete the main quest line. Or you could just ignore the quests and wreak havoc across humanity. It's up to you. For Wings of Fire, the open world will be Pyria itself. Think about appearing in Possibility. You wake up in a relaxing town, ready to talk to other characters in the multicultural community. There could be several quests ready for the taking, or you can take flight and explore the vast mountains of the Skywing Kingdom. Or maybe you can dive into the Diamond Spray Delta to go straight to the Kingdom of Sea. Maybe even visit Jade Mountain to explore some hidden caverns. The possibility of exploration is endless. I also talked about the game being a role-playing game. In this sense, yes, you are crafting your own character with a backstory. In addition to that, you're crafting your destiny in the game. The role you play is based on the equipment you use and the choices you make within each quest. You, as a character, interact with the game world. And if it's an open world game, you have an impact on the world itself. For example, imagine being Mudwing. In this instance, your character will gain more defensive points against any type of attacks because of how burly everyone is. You can even gain a small bonus if you're born in a blood red egg. Let's use a possibility start game scenario. And for context, the game would be set after Arc 3. When you wake up in Possibility, a dragon appears by your side, telling you that they found you passed out just outside their town. As they examine your health, that is when your character creation comes in. Here, you can choose your tribe, from the Mudwings to the Highwings. You have the freedom to be who you want. Here, you would also be able to customize your character's appearance, mainly their scales, eyes, and limbs. Accessories and equipment are gained by playing the game itself. After customizing your character comes the second biggest decision. What is your class? Are you going to wield throwing stars? Will you adorn a light cloak? Will you use swords in both talons? The choice is yours. Also, more on equipment later in this video. Finally, I mentioned action. There are different varieties of role-playing games, or RPGs. This is just referring to the player constantly being in control of their character to perform actions in the game. This could include constant combat, chatting with non-player characters, and interacting with game elements like pulling a lever or casting a spell. Generally, these actions are completed because the player has encountered an obstacle in the game. For example, engaging in a Skywing civil war would be such a good action piece. The uproar of a queen's death would cause riots. Random fights breaking out in the Skywing city would make for some interesting gameplay interactions. This could even happen between the Nightwings and Rainwings if they ever have a conflict. Giving the player meaningful actions is also essential to the gameplay. Let's go back to the Nightwing-Rainwing conflict. Let's say your character decides to fight with the Rainwings. The game gives you quests on how to dismantle the Nightwing threat on the kingdom. You complete these quests, and then the outcome is that the Nightwings must flee to the old Nightwing Kingdom to the west. Conversely, you would get a completely different set of quests, and a new outcome if you were to fight for the Nightwings. So we've got the puzzle pieces together. Now what would the gameplay look like? We will be relying on quests in order to help players progress their character, ensuring that they're always interacting with characters and the world. In addition, we would keep the freedom of player choice. This means that they can simply explore the world and engage with other characters on their own terms. Want to raise this random dragon? Fire away. Want to elope with another? Go for it. Want to chill out at an inn? No one's stopping you there. Not only would these actions progress your character's story, but some of them would have in-game effects like reputation with other tribes or increasing proficiency in skills. This calls for different player archetypes. There could be 3 distinct playstyles: combat-focused, civil-related, and exploration-based. Combat is obviously skills and tactics around fighting other dragons. They could have weaponry from each tribe with a different metallic variant, something like iron, steel, and then gold. By participating in battles, the player can be awarded loot that's been dropped by dead bodies or rewards from their quest giver. In return, you become stronger, allowing you to fight stronger opponents in Pyria. Because this is set after Arc 3, I imagine that technology would have improved, resulting in a variety of new equipment for dragons to use. It may have even resulted in different types of armor being produced for guards. So, seeing guards and soldiers with hide armor or a steel chestplate would be very interesting. Civil-related actions could mean increasing reputation with non-player characters in any way. decide to marry someone, increase standing with Queen Coral, or build a home in Possibility. Each of these actions would provide different bonuses. Exploration would not be the heaviest feature because it's implied with both the civil and combat paths. By exploring more Aperia, the player can discover more about the world they're in, learn about Skywing music, find out about Clearside, and explore the abandoned zones of the old Nightwing City. In terms of questing, I have several ideas for different quest lines. The main quest line could be you finding out that someone has gone missing in Possibility. After investigating further, you find out that someone has fled the village, developing an assassination plot against every queen on Pyria. The dragon was unaccounted for, and no one paid attention to them. Letting this dragon succeed would result in anarchy, or another war if a queen decides to take more territory than she can govern. This other questline is much simpler. After your reputation with the world has been known, a letter is sent to you by courier. It invites you to Jade Mountain Academy to help investigate a missing student. By going through this quest, you can meet the famous Dragonets of Destiny and some of the Jade Winglet. You can even chat with background characters in the other winglets if you choose. Finally, gameplay progression would be linked with questlines and interacting with the world. A very simple example would be increasing one's skill in polearms if your character continues to use spears as a weapon in combat. By completing quests or increasing your skills, your character's level will increase. By increasing your level, you can access more class-specific skills, increasing your effectiveness in whatever role you pick. This game would be an absolute joy to explore and play with. The amount of creativity with quests and adventures would be limitless. I imagine game designers having a field day with the different weapons and equipment to give to the player. Quests would also help keep players entertained and interested in the world, as well as provide more insight about the Pyrian continent. But what do you think? Is there anything I haven't addressed that you're interested in? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more Wings of Fire. I hope you have a great day, and as always, thanks for listening.